Hello students, in the present video session we'll discuss about digital to digital conversion. So whenever you are considering a data, the data may be in terms of either analog or digital form, and here we are converting digital data into digital signal. Digital signal. So the meaning of digital to digital conversion is the digital data need to be converted into digital signal while transmitting over the transmission medium. So under digital to digital conversion, we are having three different techniques. The conversion involves three different techniques by which we can convert digital data to digital signal. The first one is line coding, the second technique is block coding, and the third one is scrambling. First we'll take line coding. So in the case of line coding, which is a process of converting digital data to the digital signal. So we assume that the data may be in terms of text, number, graphical images, audio or video. So these data may be stored within the computer memory as a sequence of bits. So as a sequence of bits in the sense patterns of zeros and ones. So the line coding technique, it will convert the sequence of bits which is stored within the computer memory. So it will be converted into the digital signal. At the sender side, the digital data are encoded into digital signal. And at the receiver side, the digital data can be decoded back to get back our digital signal. But the digital signal, it will be transmitted over the transmission link between the sender and the receiver, or else between the encoder and the decoder. So the diagram shows line coding and decoding concept. So here we are having one sender side, so it behaves as encoder block, and we are having the receiver's node which behaves as a decoder node block. So here we are having the data like digital data like 0, 1, 0, 1 and so on. This digital data need to be transmitted to the decoder or receiver side through the link. But while transmitting the data, the entire digital data, it is converted into digital signals. So we assume that the pattern 0 which represents the negative voltage and pattern 1 which represents the high voltage and so on. So but at the decoder side, the digital signal, it will be once again converted into digital data. So that means the digital signal is decoded in order to get back our original digital data. So this is how encoding and decoding concept works with respect to line coding concept. So next we'll take the different characteristics of line coding concept. So the first characteristics is signal element versus data element. So first we'll take what is the meaning of data element. The data element is nothing but a smallest entity that can represent a piece of information. The data element is nothing but piece of information itself. In the digital data communication, a signal element carries the data element. So what is the meaning of data element? Data element is nothing but a small piece of information itself. The signal element, it will carry the data element. A signal element is the shortest unit in terms of time of a digital signal. In other words, data elements are what we need to send and the signal elements are what we can send. That means while through the transmission link we are converting the data into signal. So these signals will carry the data. Data elements means what exactly we are sending. Signal element means what we can send through the transmission link. So data elements are being carried and signal elements are the carriers. So these data elements can be put it in within the signal elements through the while transmitting through the transmission link. We define a ratio R, which is the number of data elements carried by each signal element. Signal element versus data element. So here we can define one term called as ratio R, that is equal to data element, number of data elements to the signal element, So we can define this term R as ratio R, which is the number of data elements carried by each signal elements. So we can have different conditions over here. So first we'll take case A, that is one data element per one signal element. That means ratio R is equal to 1 by 1, so that is equal to 1. So we can represent one data element per one signal element as, so we can have the signal like this. So for example, this is 1, this is 0, so this is 1. So I can say that so this is the data element, so this is nothing but one signal element. So once again this is nothing but the data element and one signal element. So we can say that in the diagram shows each signal element carries single data element. So that is case A, where ratio R is equal to 1. So next we'll take case B, in which one data element per two signal element. One data element per two signal element. That means two signal elements are required in order to carry a single data element. So we can represent, or first we can compute R, that is equal to data element, that is 1, and signal element, that is nothing but 2, that is equal to 0.5. So we can represent case B as we need to have two signal elements in order to carry a single data. So that means, so this is 1, this is 0, this is 1 once again. So here we are having two signal element, this one plus this one, in order to carry single data element, that is bit 1. Similarly here we are having, so this is one signal element, this is one more signal element in order to carry bit 0. So this is case B, where one data element per two signal elements are considered. That means two signal elements are required in order to carry a single data, that is single bit of data. Next we'll take case C, that is third case C. That means two data elements per one signal element. So this is reverse of case B. So we can compute R is equal to ratio of total number of data elements to the signal element. So here in this case we are having two data element and one signal element. Ratio R is equal to 2. So this particular condition we can represent like this. So we need to carry two data element using single signal element. Suppose, so this is 1 1, so this is 0 1 and this is 1 1. So clearly we can observe that one signal element, it will carry two data elements. Here also single signal element carries two data bits, that is 0 and 1. Here it is data bits are 1 and 1. So we will take last case, that is case D now. Case D, where four data elements per three signal element. So we can compute ratio R is equal to, so we are having four data elements and three signal elements, that is 4 by 3. So we can represent this like this. So we are having four data elements and three signal elements. So we considered three signal elements like first one, second one and third one, three signal elements. So this can be used in order to carry the pattern 1 1 0 1. So this is nothing but four data elements, and so these are nothing but three signal elements. Data rate versus signal rate. So data rate defines the number of data elements, and the data elements will be in terms of bits sent in 1 second. So therefore the unit of data rate, it will be in terms of bits per second. That means number of bits transmitted in 1 second. Similarly, we can have the definition of signal rate as the signal rate is the number of signal elements sent in 1 second. Next we can consider the bandwidth. Usually the bandwidth of the signal will be finite one, even though the actual bandwidth of the digital signal is infinite. So we can have the equation for bandwidth as B minimum is equal to C into N into 1 by R. And so we can compute the maximum data rate if the bandwidth of the channel is given as N max, that is equal to 1 by C into B into R. The capacity is given, bandwidth is given and ratio R is given, so we can compute the value of N. So next we will take baseline wandering. So in decoding a digital signal, the receiver will calculate a running average of received power signal. So this received power signal, running average of received power signal, is called as baseline. Baseline is nothing but running average of received signal power. The incoming signal power is evaluated against this baseline to determine the value of the data element. So this baseline is nothing but at the receiver side we are computing running average of received signal power. Similarly, we can compute incoming signal power against this baseline. In order to identify the data elements, that means the value of the data elements. A long string of zeros or ones can cause a drift in the baseline. So suppose if you are having patterns of all zeros and so on, or else all ones. So in such instant, obviously there will be a sudden drift in the power. So, and make it difficult for the receiver to decode it correctly. So this phenomenon is called as baseline wandering. So initially we are computing at the receiver side the running average of received power signal, and after that we can compute the incoming signal power against this baseline value in order to compute the value of the data elements. Suppose in the information or data there is a long string of zeros or ones. Obviously there may be a sudden drift or sudden change in the power or computed signal power. So in such instant the receiver cannot decode the informations correctly. So this is called as baseline wandering. A good line coding scheme needs to prevent the baseline wandering. So that means a good line coding scheme need to decode even if the long string consisting of patterns of zeros or ones, it need to decode it correctly. DC components. When the voltage level in a digital signal is constant, that means the spectrum may create very low frequencies. So that means these frequencies will be almost equal to 0. So that is called as DC component or direct current. That is called as direct current component or DC component. So if the meaning of DC component, that means the pattern may consisting of zeros bar 1 parity, that can cause the baseline wandering. But the good line coding scheme should not exhibit any properties of baseline wandering. So therefore we need a scheme with no DC components. So we need to have the line coding scheme that should not exhibit the baseline wandering phenomenon, as well as we need a scheme with no DC component. So the next topic is self-synchronization. To correctly interpret the signals received from the sender, the receiver's bit intervals must be corresponds exactly to the sender's bit interval. So here we need to maintain the synchronization between the sender as well as the receiver. If the receiver clock is faster or slower, the bit intervals are not matched and the receiver might misinterpret the signals. So we need to maintain the same clock at the sending node as well as the receiving node. So suppose the receiver clock is either fast or slow compared with the sender node. At that instant the receiver may misinterpret the signal. Suppose the sender sends the pattern 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 1. Because of synchronization issue, the receiver receives it as 1 1 0 1 1 0 0 0 1 1. So here there is a problem with the synchronization issue, and the receiver is misinterpret the data and it is received the wrong data at the receiver side. A self-synchronizing digital signal includes timing informations in the data. So always we have to include the timing informations along with the data. So this can be achieved if there are transitions in the signal that alert the receiver to the beginning, middle or end of the pulse. So if the receiver clock is out of synchronization, so we already consider three different points, that means either beginning of the transmission or middle of the transmission or at the end of the transmission. If suppose there is a problem in the synchronization, that means the receiver clock is out of synchronization, so we have to reset the clock at these points, either beginning, middle or end of the communication. In a digital transmission, the receiver clock is 0.1% faster than the sender clock. How many extra bits per second does the receiver receives if the data rate is 1 kilobits per second? How many if the data rate is 1 megabits per second? So at 1 kilobits per second, the receiver receives 1 extra bit, 1001, instead of 1000 bits. So suppose if you want to consider the data rate as 1 megabits per second, the sender sends the data as 1 into 10 raised to 6 bits per second. So that means this one bits are sent, but here we are having for 1 kilobits per second 1 extra bit, but for 1 megabits per second around 1000 extra bits we need to consider. The received will be 1000 bits. So for example, suppose this is the pattern. Here 1 0 1 1, here 0 0 0, and this is 1, and the received will be each cycle it should receive 1 extra bit. So instead of 1 it will receive 2 bits, that is I will take 1 1. Instead of 0 it will take 2 bits again, 0 0, 1 extra bit. Instead of 1 1, 3 bits, 1 1 1. Here instead of 0 0 0, so it will receive 4 bits, 0 0 0 0. Once again instead of 1 it will receive 1 1. So that means if the data rate is 1 kilobits per second, the receiver receives 1 extra bit. That means instead of 1000 it receives 1001. if the data rate is 1 megabits per second, instead of 1 megabits per second, it receives 1000 extra bits at the receiver side. So next we'll take built-in error detection. So it is desirable to have a built-in error detecting capability in the generated code to detect some or all of the errors that occur during the transmission. So if you are sending the data pattern as 0, 0, 0, 0 and so on, but the received data is 0, 1, 0, 0 and so on. So I can say that this respective bit is altered, or there is a error in the received data. So either we need to have an error detecting scheme which will detect either some or all of the errors that occur during the transmission. So another desirable code characteristics is a code that is immune to noise or any other kind of interferences or disturbances. So next we can take the term complexity. A complex scheme is more costly to implement than a simple one. For example, a scheme that causes 4 signal levels is more difficult to interpret than one that uses only 2 levels. So the complex scheme, obviously it is very difficult to implement while compared with the simple scheme. Suppose if you want to implement a scheme with 4 signal levels, which is more complex with 2 signal levels. While comparing with the 2 signal level coding scheme, the 4 signal level coding scheme will be complex one.